Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. It is a really cloudy, beautiful late April morning. We had some crazy severe weather the last couple days, especially overnight last night across the south. So I really don't know what these fish are going to do, but today I'm going to attempt to make you a shad spawn video on Pickwick. You know, it's one of my favorite times of the year, just the frenzy that you get. Matter of fact, right here I'm idling out of State Park Landing at the dam, and I see, probably can't see them, but there's two blue herons just sitting here stabbing at shad. So the shad spawn is going on. Sometimes it can be a mystery to find where the right caliber of fish are using the shad spawn, but man, when you do, it's awesome. So we're gonna put our head down. It's cloudy. Hopefully the shad spawn will last a couple hours, and I'm gonna try to show you kind of how to dial it in if it's not something you're super confident with, and hopefully help you catch more fish. Y'all stay tuned. Guys, you don't have to wonder if you've got the right color when they eat it like that. My goodness. That's the Jenko CD2 squared. Oh my goodness, it is gone. Okay. Fish number one, a nice 3-pounder. You can tell it's post spawn, wanting to feed up. Kind of got a lot of color, been shallow. You see the bloody tail. Shad spawn, just a bank with some rock on it, hard cover. There's shad everywhere down this bank. We ought to be able to get another bite here. Little brown one. That's the cool thing about the shad spawn. Everything that eats shad will get on it. Actually got hung up in some riprap there and lifted my rod tip, and when it deflected out of it, that fish nailed it. Well, I was right. We got another bite pretty quick, about 3 casts later. Thing about the shad spawn, if you're not around them, you've got to move. Don't sit in one place for 30 minutes trying to force one to bite, because you see a lot of bait fish and it just feels right. You're gonna get results, and if you don't, somebody somewhere else is getting those results. So you just got to move until you land on them. This place, I've caught 2 fish in, I don't know, 4 or 5 casts. But if I go another 5 minutes or so and don't get bit, then I'm off to the next place, try to find that mega load of quality fish that are using that shad spawn before the light gets up and it ends. seeing more brown today so far than green. I don't know if that's just coincidence or it's because we're still in April and a few of those green ones are still doing their thing with the spawn. So that is a threadfin shad. Gives you an idea of what you're trying to imitate. They've got a little bit of a chartreuse hue to their tail. That's why I like to tip some stuff in chartreuse. This crankbait I'm throwing has a kind of a line of chartreuse down the back. Closely imitates that. Lost about a 3-pound smallmouth. Did his famous smallmouth jump and threw it. Largemouth we've been looking for. Alright. That is a pretty fish right there, boys and girls. See, I just had her in the corner, and when she turned, I got another hook in her. Felt a little better about it. It's a pretty one. That one will go 5.5 at least. So I've run, I may not show them all in the video, but I've run 4 or 5 places looking for the shad spawn, and I started out fishing bank stuff, rock. You know, you saw me catch a couple on the riprap or chunk rock. I caught one on just a rocky point with a lot of rock that ran out. And this is an offshore shad spawn. I'm still close to the bank, but I'm on a pea gravel point that runs way out. And one thing that's been really key this morning is not be in the wind. We got a pretty hard wind blowing, and there's something about the wind that'll just bug those shad out. If there's rollers coming in, they don't want to be there. I got protected from this bank. Got a long point running out, long cast up there on the Jenko CD2, and we caught us a big one. So guys, you know, I'm going to explain a little more at the end of the video, get this fish back, but that's shad spawn 101. Beautiful Pickwick bass. All right, just to dive into the details on today, you know, hour and a half. I hit 4 or 5 places, caught some little ones that I won't show, some that I will. Caught a 3-pounder right off the bat, and then caught that big one. We've got, as you can see, we got clouds, we got weather that's real conducive for that shad spawn lasting. I don't have long to be on the water today, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video. Hopefully catch a few more before I have to go put it on the trailer. But, you know, I want to give you 3 baits that to me are a staple and cover a lot of different things. You don't have to make the shad spawn complicated. You can. You absolutely can. You can have 2 or 3 different swim baits, a couple of different spinner baits, a couple different colored chatter baits, a buzz bait, a walking bait. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Crankbaits, uh, scrounger heads. There's a lot of different stuff, but my 3 staples that seem to cover everything are these right here. Number one, what I caught them on today is that Jenko CD square. You know, a square bill crankbait is gonna. What I really like the square bill around is when I've got hard bottom. When I'm looking for that hard bottom shad spawn, sometimes that's a little bit off the bank, gravel, shale, stuff like that. Just the deflection that you get out of a crankbait draws a lot of bites. I catch a lot of big fish on that crankbait, just like the one you just saw around the shad spawn. You can also throw it, you know, on riprap. Obviously, it's great. Chunk rock, floating docks. You can throw it anywhere. There are certain shad spawns like marina docks, flooded bushes that this is not the best bait, but hard bottom, hard cover shad spawn, that's hard to beat. Throwing that on a baits, that is a 150, and then the High Roller 7.2 medium moderate from Jenko. The reason I like this rod, it's a little bit heavier, and I don't mean heavy by weight, but I mean heavy by backbone. It's a little bit heavier blank going up that allows me to bomb that CD squared. It weighs a little more than a lot of square bills, so I can really make a 120, 130 foot cast with it. Plenty of backbone at the end of your cast. And another thing I love about this rod, I mean, I throw like a big walking bait on it. I'll throw mid-range to even deep diving crankbaits on that rod, so it's a great utility rod just to throw baits with treble hooks. A trap, killer for a trap, so love that rod. The next thing that is a must for me, and there's several different ways to rig it, but that's the booty shaker. This is the 5-inch. I've got it on a belly-weighted swim bait hook, and the thing about this, you can skip it. You can put it around marina docks. It is incredible around flooded bushes. It's got a bigger profile body, and it's got a really big kick to the tail, so it gets a lot of what I call head wag and tail kick. It puts out a lot of vibration. When those fish are up there looking for a shad, and there's 10,000 of them up there spawning, you need something that kind of stands out, but still looks natural and looks like what they're foraging on. So that booty shaker is just killer. You know, these thread fins here at Pickwick are pretty big. You saw the one I caught on the crankbait. So that's why I chose the 5-inch. The way I was catching them today, I threw it a little bit. It just didn't really set up perfectly for it. But man, I'm telling you, flooded bushes, marina docks, that right there will catch them. And you know, I probably could have thrown one on just an open hook jig head, 1/4 ounce, and caught some of these fish offshore. But the crankbait was working. It covers water, so that's what I chose. But that is a killer bait for the shad spawn. And really any time post spawn when those fish are looking for a beefy meal to try to help pick themselves back up, just the post spawn feed up. Now the third bait that is a must have, and I threw it some today, and I think it's just a little bit early, but boy, when it kicks off, it's going to kick off, and it's a lot of fun. That's the tin cannon from Jenko, a walking bait. The reason I like this one, it's a big 3-hook bait. Reminds me a lot of the old Vixen feathered trailer hook, rear hook, and it'll cast a country mile, and it gets big bites. That walking bait is something that you always want to have on a shad spawn, and you're constantly looking if you're seeing those fish showing themselves. And it doesn't necessarily have to be where they're blowing up, just obviously saying, hey, throw a topwater there. They will eat it when they're not showing themselves, but especially when you see those shad doing the death run, what I call, you know, porpoising out of the water, skipping across the top, you know there's a big fish after them, and nothing imitates a wounded bait fish on the surface better than that big walking bait. Guys, one thing I want to add, you know, I'm definitely not trying to make this a Jenko commercial. I believe in Jenko stuff. That's all I threw today, and I catch a lot of fish on them. If there's something else you're confident in, then roll with it. You know, same categories. There's a lot of square bills out there. There's a lot of swim baits, a lot of topwaters. But if you're interested in some of Jenko's stuff, their rods, they make great rods, great fish catching baits, especially on the Tennessee River system, TVA, and everywhere in the country. But if you want to check some of these out, go to jenkofishing.com. Use discount code JW25. It's going to save you 25%. You know, they've got the Don, the Don Senior, the Don Junior, the Revolution Head as far as mid-strolling baits, and jig head minnows. So they've got a lot of great stuff. Go check it out, save you some money. Guys, that's 3 baits that are a must-have for the shad spawn. You don't have to make it complicated. Yes, a chatterbait, spinner bait, a swim jig. There are a lot of different things that will fit into certain categories, but these 3 right here will take you anywhere in the country, help you catch fish on the shad spawn. Thank y'all so much for watching. We'll see you around the corner.